Hey, how are ya? Thank you for coming back. This is Black Hole Sun Podcast Afterthought. I'm your host, Moss. Um, this is basically a recap show or an afterthought show of my podcast, Black Hole Sun. So if you haven't listened to the podcast, please go and check that out first and then watch this. For this particular episode, we'll be talking about the Black Dahlia murders. If you have no idea what I'm talking about and you don't want to go back and listen to my podcast, also, I want to apologize real quick. It's kind of dark in here and it's been raining, and yeah, I don't know where I put my light. I've been cleaning, so hey, yeah. So this is what you get. Sorry. Real quick. So the Black Dahlia murders. The person who was killed, her name was Elizabeth Short, and it happened in 1947 in Los Angeles, California. Um, so Elizabeth Short was murdered in California, in Los Angeles. They found her body in January. I'm just double checking the date. I believe January 15th, they found her body in downtown LA. A woman was walking her son and she saw this body that she thought was a mannequin, because what they did was that the person who killed Elizabeth did such a, I guess gruesome is the word, such a gruesome job of cutting her up and splicing her and cutting her up and draining her blood and doing all these terrible things to her. So this murder happened in 1947 in Los Angeles. Until this day, they haven't figured out this murder. It is an unsolved case. Um, there's been a bunch of speculations. There's been a bunch of movies. Just a lot of things going on with this. Basically, it's been all this time and it's an unsolved murder. Elizabeth is originally from Boston. She moved to Los Angeles. People have assumed that she was an actress and she was, making the rounds as an actress, and she was either on a date or something and this person killed her. There's a couple of suspects, but I kind of lean very closely to George Hodel, because George Hodel was a doctor and apparently a surgeon as well. So if anybody's going to know how to cut up a body, it's a surgeon or a doctor. I don't know if it's official that he was a surgeon, but I know he was definitely a doctor. It's pretty much points to him. He's died, obviously he died a long time ago, but it pretty much points to him in terms of the evidence. His son, Steve Hodel, became a Los Angeles police officer, and he really thought his dad did it. So I kind of have to agree with him because the evidence kind of points towards him. He had George Hodel, the person that we suspect is the killer. He had a secret room in his house, and they wiretapped his home, and he said this weird stuff. So, in my thoughts, I thought it was him. There was also the crazy rumor that Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia, was caught up with a satanic cult, and this was a ritualistic murder. Who knows? Maybe George Hodel was part of that ritualistic cult and killed her for, whatever reason. But it's pretty gruesome if your own son thinks that you've murdered a person. I know the reason I got interested in it was I saw a movie about the Black Dahlia a couple of years ago, and also if you watch the first season of American Horror Stories, there's a lot. I love American Horror Stories, but there's a lot of stuff going on in episodes. So the first season, the Murder House, they had their own version of the Black Dahlia and what happened to her. So they talk about that as well. It's tragic. It's really tragic. That's something that happened in 1947. To this day, has not been solved. That's the other thing about George Hodel. He also had ties with the police. And he was wealthy. So it could have been easily just kind of swept under the rug. Evidence could have been misplaced. A lot of things could have happened. In 1947, as now, the Los Angeles PD had a lot of corruption. So anything could have happened. I really, truly believe this man, George Hodel, was the person who killed her. But we'll never know because he died and there's no evidence. And it seems like the police itself, like I saw a doc on Amazon Prime, I want to say, um, with some guys from BuzzFeed, and they were trying to investigate this and go to the LAPD, and they were kind of apprehensive with them, and they didn't want to talk to them. So it's kind of crazy till this day that this case is not, that the police are not wanting to talk to anybody about it, and they're kind of like, no, we have no information. It's like, okay, you gotta have some information. There's gonna be something. So yeah, so if you please do me a favor, give this a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you don't like it, don't. I hope you didn't watch it. Hopefully you find this video enjoyable. Let me know in the comments below or side, if you're looking at it from a phone, what you think about the Black Dahlia murder. If you're with me about Hodel, I'm so 100% sure it was this guy. You know, they talked about like a friend from the military and other people. No, it was George Hodel. Like, he had surgical tools, he had access to the police, he had money. I mean, what was the reasoning for it? Like, why would he go and kill like a random woman? You know? I don't know, maybe he was dating her, maybe he was into that. There was apparently another murder, couldn't remember, in the same style prior or after her murder. So this individual, whoever he was a serial killer, but the police kind of downplayed it. So it's really sketchy. It's a really sad story. It's really sketchy. If you know anything about this story, please, I'd love to hear your side of the story. Maybe I'll do a part 2 on the podcast or here on YouTube. Yeah, let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much. Bye.